So this week I sat down with Andrew Samuel, who I've known since 2013. He's special in that he has an innate ability to undergo adversity and thrive afterwards. Not only did he transform from a dorky kid who wore a dress shirt to school every day to this baritone voiced brother that I'm interviewing today, but he's also the definition of level-headed and compassionate. Rooted in his Christian faith, Andrew has overcome educational difficulties, 4 career-altering injuries, as well as the grind of everyday life in general. But despite all of this, his family instilled him with the work ethic and determination of an ox. Since I've known Andrew, he has accomplished all of this and more. At Aberhart, he was a junior boys Division I city champion in 2016-17 and a senior boys Division I city champion in 2017 and 18. With Trinity Western, they had a 9-7-1 record in 2018 and 19, and a 5-0 record in 2019 and 20 before the coronavirus. And his YouTube channel has 214 subscribers and a video with almost 6,000 views. So, talk about putting in the work. Andrew, thank you, genuinely, from myself, Cale and Evan, for being a part of the conversation and shedding some of your wisdom on us. We all hope that you enjoy the first episode of What Makes You Happy. Okay, so this is the first episode of What Makes You Happy. It's a new series that we're going to be filming, and the content that we have on our channel, not all of it is going to be geared towards everybody, because some of it is a little heavier, and the content, it isn't really all digestible. So we're going at it from a different angle, and we're going to be talking to real people that we've grown up with, that have influenced us, and seeing what makes them happy. So I'm with Andrew Samuel. He's going to tell you a little about himself. I've known him since we were in 7th grade, so I'm very excited to be here.
Okay, cool. Well, thanks for having me on, Keaton.
Yeah.
I'm excited, bro. I've listened to a few episodes with you and Cale and Evan, so I really like what you guys are doing.
I appreciate it.
And I'm actually really excited to see, guys that I went to high school with actually venturing out and trying some of this social media and stuff like that, and trying to make something happen with that, because while a lot of people do it, not a lot of people we know do it, So
yeah, exactly.
It's just cool to see. So
especially in the community. I know what you mean.
Yeah, exactly.
And any opportunity to work within the community is always good.
Mm-hmm.
It's the reason to catch up, obviously. But
oh yeah,
I get to see where you're at with school. I get to see where you're at just in your journey as a human being, and that's always a blessing, right?
Oh yeah.
So, we've got a couple of questions. Nothing too serious. This isn't like an interview. I'm just catching up with a friend. The first one, I'm going to come at you with 3 different angles, answer them as you wish. When it comes to your health, we're talking physical health, emotional health, and if you're a practicing of a religion, your spiritual health. Mm-hmm. What makes you happy, just in general?
Right. Okay. Let me adjust this real quick. Okay, just wanted to make sure. Okay, so, we started going to school together in junior high at Vanier, and I think I was always a big soccer guy, right?
Oh yeah.
So I think ever since I was a kid in Malaysia, growing up with my cousins who were all the guys at least were into sports and that kind of thing. We were everyone loved soccer. My uncles, my grandparents, my grandparents didn't really play any sports, but they were supportive of their kids who wanted to engage in sports and stuff like that. Especially me, because I picked up a passion for soccer at such a young age. So in Malaysia, soccer is a very big sport. Soccer and cricket are huge. Futsal as well. But so moving here, it wasn't appreciated as much. And you know what? To this day, I still feel some type of way about it.
I'm not happy, Bob. Not happy.
Okay,
but
fair enough.
I'm happy to see the love of the game is growing. But anyways, when we were in junior high together, I played for, that was my first time playing on a school team, grade 7, 8, 9. And, it was really fun. We did really well. I played with some really good players there.
Yeah.
I'll just say one name, Keyshawn Brooks. I don't know where he is right now, but, he's one of the best players I ever played with.
Probably doing great things.
Exactly. So anyways, but that's seeing other guys succeed and stuff like that is something I enjoy to see as well. But, once again, playing soccer is it's been basically my whole life kind of revolves around what I do with soccer.
Right.
I mean, it determines kind of my, my health in one way. I wouldn't, I would say that I have pretty good health, and that's very, very much thanks to the training I do with soccer. So
Right.
At Trinity right now, where I go to school, we follow very, well, it's supposed to be a strict program. Some guys don't stick to it as well.
Believe it, it's on. I get paid to snitch now.
You get paid to
I
snitch.
get paid to snitch now. Let's go celebrate.
But, ever since I came in, I knew that I wanted to be a guy that does every workout that's programmed.
Right.
Unless he's injured or has a really good excuse not to do it,
Okay.
So ever since my first year, I've followed the program down to a T, making sure I'm logging my sessions and stuff like that. Even if it means even if I don't get to play on the weekend and I'm not on the roster, I always know that the best thing I can do for myself is to, look after my body as best I can and do these workouts and, put myself in the best position possible, so that if I do get the chance, I'm ready. So, being in good health is another thing that makes me very happy, but like I said, I wouldn't be, physically in good health if it wasn't for soccer. I really don't know what I would do if it wasn't for soccer.
Right.
So
are you not one of those guys who will just run for the sake of running? Because I'm not one of those guys.
I used to really enjoy running and stuff, like going for runs, but then
And track and field in junior high.
I did. Yeah, I love track too. Like, did it in junior high and high school, and I think if I could do it all over again, if I didn't do soccer, maybe I would have done track and field. Just because the atmosphere at track meets and stuff is good. Everyone's supportive. Even the people you run against and compete against, which is super sick, and I love that. Because I'm all for competition, but I definitely love interacting with people in a positive way. Don't because
just because we're competitors doesn't mean we're enemies.
Exactly, 100%. I never saw it that way. And people will say we can be friends off the pitch, but on the pitch we're enemies. I don't really see it like that. I understand that you have to give it everything, but I don't think you have to treat anybody differently.
Right.
On the pitch, I think the consistency, not only in your actions, but but as well in the way you treat other people is super important, because without consistency, you don't really know who you are, because if you act differently towards every other person, and depending on what their actions are to you, the way you see people and stuff like that, your emotions can fluctuate, and it just causes you to, I think it would cause more problems than good,
Right.
Perhaps maybe if you do treat someone with a little more tenacity and stuff in a game, maybe you'll win that tackle and stuff like that, but I still think you can do that even if you treat people with respect and kindness, right?
And fair enough. From my experience, I was just there watching it throughout those years. We got to Aberhart and our team was good, but not only that, in the 9th grade, I got moved from 9FA to 9FC, and you and Marshall and Sujad became 3 of my very good friends very quickly. So we get to high school, and Andrew is on this team, but not only is he on this team, he's a centerpiece of this team, and they just blow everyone out of the water, and they do it multiple times for multiple years. You know what I'm saying? So I've seen the improvement, and we can dig into it more because I have some questions. But my first question: do you think the discipline from soccer is helping bleed into the other aspects of your life, your discipline in, say, how you treat people, in how you think before you act? Or do you think that this is something that started outside of sport, and sports exercise, its schedule, its rigid nature, does that just exacerbate it for you?
That's a really good question. I think that I get to practice my discipline through soccer, but I think that, where it was really ingrained in me and taught to me was through my parents and my grandparents who, immigrated to Malaysia from India, and then my parents immigrated from Malaysia out to here, and they've always taught me to work hard and give my best at everything. So that simple lesson there kind of, enabled me to, really apply myself in the world of soccer.
Yeah.
So if it wasn't for them, I don't think I would have practiced it in soccer, because there's plenty of people in soccer, and even myself, some weeks, I'm not giving I'm giving 100%, but I know I can give more.
Right. You have something left for the
tank.
the round trip.
Exactly. So, some weeks you just everyone has an off week here and there, but I mean,
Which is okay.
yeah,
By the way.
100%. You don't have to be top performer all the time. Obviously, consistency at the top level is what will get you, the accolades and everything like that. But if you just want to be able to, live a good life and say, in my opinion, like I've done well. It's being able to say that I gave everything I could every day.
Exactly.
So I just want to say, like, if it wasn't for my parents, like, the hard work wouldn't have applied in soccer, because I could have been lazy.
Yeah.
I could have decided, what, I don't want, like, I'm not getting playing time, so I want to quit.
Exactly.
But that's not the case. And then that also applies into other areas of my life, like schoolwork or job searching and stuff like that, or whatever job I'm doing at the time.
Yeah.
Because, like, in sports, it's really easy to go about your work, like in school, and like be okay with settling for, like, everyone else got an 80 or a 75 on the test, so I'm happy with that. But then if you know deep inside you that that's not the best, like, that you can give, like, if I'm in that situation, that never sits well with me. If I know I can give more,
right,
on sports or in life, like, I know for sure that I in a way, I'm wasting my time if I'm not trying to be my best at all times,
And it's not like a comparison thing for you. Like, it's not that you're trying to outcompete everybody else. It's that you're trying to outcompete yourself on a daily basis, being better every day.
Exactly.
And it's like those days where you're not better, you're like, I can be doing more.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
I get you.
And I think that's, like, the situation with a lot of people who play sports, Like, if, like, I said it before and I'll say it again, like, if it wasn't for sports, I don't know where I would be, like, in life in general, because sports gives you that, like, competitive nature, but it also, like, it helps you compete with yourself, like you just said, like, and push yourself to be better and just strive for greatness in all things, right? So,
and, like, I haven't played soccer myself, but the amount of lessons that I learned within, like, the basketball court that had nothing to do with the basketball game was, like, I couldn't even count them. So I think not only does it expand who we are when we're growing, but it's also a connection. You know what I'm saying? Like, at Eberhard, I think we were very, very fortunate, especially in our later years. The community around the sports teams, obviously this is the ones that are doing well, but the ones that are doing well, like, the community was there and the energy was electric. You know, like, people drove down to the south to watch you guys play. Because it was important, you know what I'm saying? Like, that was us. We were competing, our school against their school. But I don't know. I always really enjoyed that. The next question: what gets you through your worst days? Doesn't matter what it is.
Well, I'm a Christian, so I have a deep-rooted faith in God. There's been a lot of days, especially during, like, since the last time I saw you, a lot has happened, like, athletically, academically, and all that kind of thing. So there's been a lot of tough days, but the one thing, that I've been taught ever since a young age, and that I've always believed in, and that has always been true, is that God has a plan for me. Yeah. And that even though I might be in the deepest of valleys, God is going, He won't put me through anything that I can't handle. Right. So I've always believed that God has wanted the best for me, even though it may not seem like it. And it has been true through all the injuries. I've lost, like, since high school, since 11th grade, I've had probably 4 or 5 pretty severe injuries that have kept me out for months at a time. Right. And I believe have kept me from reaching my full potential. So, but I in grade 11, I was really upset with God, and, like, little me being upset with big God. So I would, like, question Him and be angry with Him and be like, God, why are you doing this to me? Why couldn't you do this to someone else? Like, I've been doing well in soccer and stuff like that, and now I feel like you're dragging me down and, like, you're holding me back from, being where I want to be. But then that's when I realized, sometimes my plan isn't God's plan. Right. And if I have faith that, you know, I, like we were talking before, just giving my best every day and trying to be a good example and living as Christ-like as possible, God will ultimately, at the end of the day,
put you where you're supposed to be.
100%, exactly. It's just like, you don't even have to be Christian to like understand this concept. It's like hard work will get you where you want to be, and then it's that additional faith and trust in God that will, you know, set your feet on the right surface and, you know, keep you up even though you're starting to shake a little bit, right?
Right. And it's the things that we can't explain, like love and faith and community and compassion, empathy, those type of things. Like, we have definitions for them, but we can't explain how they happen scientifically. There's information and research towards it, but there isn't concrete answers to all these things, you know? And for a long time in my life, I refused to think that faith and spirituality and God could have anything to do with it. But these are concepts that exist on my earth and in my experience that I cannot fully understand. Therefore, in my mind, there must be somebody that does understand them. And it doesn't matter who I identify him as or who I meet him as. In my opinion, as long as you're living by your morals and you're getting 1% better every day, whether it's Christianity, getting closer to Christ every day, or in Buddhism, getting closer to the Buddha every day. You can't become these perfect people, but act in their will and have faith that the universe is on your side.
Well said, bro.
And then when I started getting closer with you and Exose, that also changed things, because it was something that you wanted to talk to me about, but like I just was not accepting of, you know. And I've gone through these transformations, and it blows my mind, because regardless of if it was his plan when we were talking about it in the 8th grade, and I was like, this doesn't make any sense, like I just want to talk to Andrew about cool stuff, you know what I'm saying? It's his plan now, because regardless of who we identify him as, we have and always will be his children, and we're connected that way, you know? And I really appreciate that, so thank you.
Of course.
The last question, what do you think about life in general? Is there things that you're thankful for every single day that you find yourself dreading? And if there is things that you find yourself dreading, I know we've asked what gets you through your worst days, but even though they're not the worst days, everybody has some bad times during those good days as well. So what helps get you through those?
Well, I mean, outright I can tell you, like, there's nothing that I really dread, you know? I used to dread the future and like be super terrified of like, you know, what my life will become in like the next month, 2 months, 3 months, year, 2 years, whatever. And I used to be super anxious. This transformation didn't come until probably pretty recently, I would say within the past year since I turned 20. There's nothing that I really dread and like don't look forward to, you know, maybe the occasional like quiz and test in school, or, you know, a fitness test every now and then, but
the Fitness Gram Pacer test is a multi-stage aerobic capacity test that progressively gets more difficult as it continues.
At the end of the day now, I look forward to these things, and because I know it's an opportunity to like test myself and become better, and I look forward to improvement, because I know that, you know, a lot of people think it might be toxic to vie for continuous improvement and like not really being happy with where you are. But, you know, it's just like over time when I realized like, people can think that and like limit, but I don't want to limit myself by the beliefs of other people, that you have to be happy with what you have. And of course I'm very happy and very grateful for the things I have, but when I say that, I mean like happy with, you know,
where you are mentally and physically.
Exactly. It's
working.
Like you can always, at some point, like you reach a peak in like maybe in sports, like say you're doing a bench press, you can't bench press more than a certain number of weight, right? But
you hit a plateau.
Exactly. But I mean, if you keep going at something, you're like, if you keep hitting a wall, eventually it'll break, you know, no matter how thick it is, no matter how big it is, you know. So I always believe that like if I apply myself every day to something, then the results will come. And, you know, even if nothing comes from it, I'm happiest when I know I gave my best effort, like I previously said. So, yeah, I mean, I'm super happy with where my life is at right now, despite the injuries, like the knee injury that happened 2 weeks ago. Despite the fact that it might take me out for next season, you know, it doesn't really. I was waiting for it to hit me, but it hasn't hit me yet.
Right.
And I don't think it will, because, you know, whatever God's plan is, I'll follow it. Whatever He sees for me in the future, even though it feels like I can't see a thing, I'm just gonna, you know, take His hand and let Him lead me through it and trust Him.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, what I was going to say about something early on in there is that being unsatisfied with where you are and being ungrateful are two very different things. Like, you are not an ungrateful human being. You are one of the nicest, one of the most considerate and compassionate people that I know in my life. So I don't want people to get the idea that you're not satisfied with where you are misconstrued. It just means that you have this drive every single day to improve, and people need more of that. You know what I'm saying? Of course you need to relax, and of course you need to rest, but as soon as you start living a sedentary lifestyle, whether it's mentally or physically, you're going to start deteriorating. And like, you don't want that, right? And you don't want that for anybody else, because it's a beautiful world that we all want to explore. I don't mean to speak on your behalf, but it's just, I don't want people to think it's like, this guy's telling me that I need to improve, and once I hit that goal, it's not good enough. That's not what he's saying, you know?
No, you're right. Because, I mean, everyone has potential in something. You may not know what that field is. You may not know you may not have discovered your passion yet, but I mean, you just have to keep knocking on every door, like in the neighborhood, and eventually, like, something or someone will welcome you in, and then you'll be able to nurture your craft, and, you know, you take it to heights where you never knew possible. Like you were saying, you and Cale wanted to start this podcast. You started it like 4 months ago, and, you know, everyone starts somewhere,
right?
And I can see this becoming one of the biggest podcasts in the world one day. Like, mark my words, man.
Wild.
Like, seriously, I hope that you guys just keep at it and, you know, are consistent with it. And it's good to see you guys are banging out episodes recently too. So, I mean, but at the end of the day, you can have a lot of intensity and whatever, but consistency, sustained consistency over like extended periods of time is what will get you where you want to be. Sustained consistency over like extended periods of time is what will get you where you want to be, whatever it is. If you do it in spurts, like you definitely won't see as much growth as you want as if you keep putting out, like, say, an episode every week. Or for me, like, I always tell my viewers on YouTube, you know, I'm gonna upload a video every week, but then stuff will happen and I'll be like, I don't have to upload this week. I deserve to take a week off. But that's not how it works. If I really want to see the growth, it's not going to come unless I just go at it, even when I really don't want to.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And, like, obviously life does happen. So if you're a weekly content creator and something happens, don't let that failure kill you. Get up and upload the video as soon as you can. Yeah. You know, because obviously when we were in school, trying to get 2 episodes out a month is great. But when we're not in school, we can try and pump out more.
Oh, yeah.
But the problem is that, like, when we are in school and we miss that second episode in a month, it's such a long gap. It's so easy to get discouraged because you see things fall off. You see numbers fall off. Don't get too obsessed with all of that, right? As long as you're consistently putting out content that you believe in. And, like, I was watching your videos at home with my mom about your workouts. And she was like, don't you know him? And I was like, yes, of course I know him. Why are you watching this then? What do you mean? Because it motivates me. Like, I see my friends doing well and I see them doing good things. Like Brandon. Brandon looks like a freaking bodybuilder. It's insane.
Are you telling me you're a Super Saiyan?
And it's like, okay, I could compare myself to Andrew's fitness that has been, like, I remember when we were in junior high at one track meet, man, you were running a distance event, and there was like a period of time before you guys came around the last turn, and Andrew was so far behind the guy in second. And I was like, what is happening? Like, there's no way this is going to happen. And a switch turned on, and, like, you literally burnt past this guy. He didn't even have an opportunity to finish in first. You know, like you weren't going to let him. You just put your head down and you kept working. And these type of things, these type of qualities, like obviously, I've said this before, you don't want to become a chameleon, but reflect good qualities of the people that have helped get you where you are, and the world's going to be a better place, in my opinion.
100%, bro. Yeah.
I don't know, man. Like, it's just, I love seeing what you've been doing, Andrew, because I've always known, like, since I moved into that class, it's like, this is going to be one of those friends that I could have for the rest of my life. And if I don't see him for 3 years, the day that we have coffee 3 years later, nothing's going to have changed because, like, he's on the right path. He's going forward towards the things that he cares about and that he values, and he's doing it the right way. So I will always have, no matter how much time's been in between, interest to see how you've developed and how you're going, because it's just always, it's good, man. I appreciate it, bro.
100%.
So, now that I'm done confessing my love for Andrew, he's going to talk about his soccer and his YouTube channel. Sorry, I get carried away sometimes.
Well, I'll just tell you, like, so, I mean, content creation and stuff like that, I've liked making videos and stuff like that for a while. So I thought, I'll make my YouTube channel. Yeah. So I've been at Trinity. I'm going into my 4th year now, which is really crazy to think. Going into my 4th year with the soccer team. Yeah. I still have 5 years of eligibility though, which is crazy. That's not how I saw it working out, but like I said, like God's plan isn't my plan. But yeah, I mean, my YouTube channel, it's growing very slowly, but when I post it, like, grows for sure. Yeah. I really need to. I need someone to get on my case about, like, posting and stuff like that. Because I know, like, you need that internal drive, but I think sometimes it helps to have someone that pushes you and wants you to be great at something as well. But if I have that person or not, I just have to be consistent, give myself reminders. So I just post, like, soccer stuff. I'm hoping I can post some self like improvement kind of content as well as I love music and stuff like that, so maybe some music reactions and stuff like that, and get involved in that world somehow, because I just love that stuff. So that's just what I do right now. Exactly. Hopefully preparing to get into a master's degree somewhere in the world, hopefully in physiotherapy. Not really sure where I want to do. Well, I'll tell you right now, I'll do it anywhere. Like, I just have to get in somewhere.
That's the real thing, especially with programs like that. It's I'll go wherever they take me, man.
Yeah. Ideally, it would be at the U of A.
What did he say?
Ideally, it would be at the U of A.
This is the reason why Edmonton sucks. Could somebody tell me where the sidewalk is? $48 million, huh? And this is the results you get here in Edmonton. God, this city sucks.
Oh, yeah.
Close to home, and all that.
But far enough away from home that you can be your own person. Yeah. And you can live your own life.
So that would be cool. But I wouldn't mind, staying out and going to UBC, going to the States, going to Australia. Yeah. Because, like I said, I'm ready for anything, wherever God takes me, I'll go.
That's what I love to hear, man.
Yeah. Like, I never thought Trinity was in the books either, but then, like, it's one of those crazy things. You just followed, and then things will work out. Like, but I don't. To this day, I still don't know how things have worked out, but they have.
Yeah, dude.
So, yeah. I mean, that's life so far, bro.
Keep working.
Yeah. Hopefully, we can push each other.
Exactly.
With this thing, right?
I was about to say, like, it's easy because I have Cale and I have Evans. Like, they're asking questions. I'm asking them questions. We keep ourselves in check. Yeah. Like, this kind of accountability can be held online just because we're not on the YouTube world doing the fitness stuff. Like, all of our content is trying to help people get better in one way, shape, or another. So it's stuff that I love to support and I love to push. So I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to me.
Of course, bro. It's been too long.
Yeah.
But I'm glad we got to catch up one way or another,
Yeah. That is that. How you feeling, Andrew? Around half an hour.